Hey everyone, Jason Slama here, Game Director for Gwent, and I thought it was time to catch up a bit with what we plan for the future of Gwent, and I wanted to take a bit out of our time to share that with you. There's a lot to talk about today, and bear with me, it's going to be some exciting things to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the new user experience. A lot of you have commented that the starter decks aren't really great, and we agree. We feel there's too many neutrals, they're not really showing off the different variety of factions and the depth that is in the game. And so coming in the next month or two is going to be a complete redesign of the starter decks to really show that off. It should be really much more faction heavy, a lot less neutral heavy, and give you a lot of potential to start off, and they'll be quite competitive. The other thing is we know our tutorial also does poorly in teaching you the experience and showing you how Gwent is really awesome. So we're also working really hard right now into redoing those tutorials. It'll go down from 6 matches to 3, but they'll be more condensed. They'll be teaching better. There'll be more moments of awesomeness and showing off some of the more cool cards we have in our game. So we're really hoping that between that and all the other new user experience changes we're doing, such as intro videos for the starter decks to help you learn the flavor of each faction and how those decks really play, to sort of spending less time in handheld tutorials and more time helping you figure out the rest of the game, like deck building and all that stuff, should really help you get your friends to play Gwent and enjoy it with you. And that's really important, and we've heard you, and we feel the same, and we're definitely doing quite a lot coming soon for that. Additionally, I want to take some time to talk about user experience in general. Now, let's start back to the last time we did sort of this roadmap stream, which was in December of last year. We talked that we were going to stop doing big changes. Yeah, we're going to stop trying to re-update and fix all the user experience in one pass like we did with Homecoming, and we're going to go more iterative. And I feel like over the last few months, we've really managed to make the game feel smoother, feel faster, feel a lot more fun and responsive to play. But that was only the beginning. There's a lot more that we want to do to make the game feel and better, and also to be more intuitive. And there's a lot that we can talk about here already. Coming really soon, or that's about to come out, is drag and drop. So we've added in drag and drop into the game. I know that was one that you guys were requesting a lot. It was at the top of my list, and I'm super happy that it's finally coming. And in the process of doing drag and drop, we really took the time to try and refine the way the playing card experience works, in the sense that it'll be much more clear what you can and can't do than ever before. Another thing that we did in the same vein is right now when you go to play a card, the rows that you can actually play on will be highlighted, and the rows that a card is only a row in which the ability of a card only works, so like a melee restricted card, will get highlighted much more prominently, so the chances of you playing that card in the wrong row is going to diminish greatly, I hope, which was always driving me nuts, especially when learning the new cards in Homecoming. The things that we're still looking at and that I'm really excited for us to start working on soon is, when you play a card, trying to get that feeling of it really having impact. So that means more sounds, more VFX, and we even are thinking about adding variety into it so that, a catapult doesn't make the same sounds or the same animations as, let's say, a dwarven warrior jumping into the battlefield. Yeah, we really want to get that battlefield feeling coming. I don't know exactly when that's coming, but it's definitely something that we're going to work in the near future on to get your hands into. We're simplifying the UI. For example, the row scores is something that we don't feel you actually use most of the time, and it makes it harder to read the information that's important. So we're going to actually be hiding the row scores. You'll still be able to access them, but they won't always be visible, so the game will be a bit more readable. We're also looking into adding counters onto the rows, so that when you have a weather ability, or let's say you've got that awesome 6-turn Blood Moon, you'll actually see how many turns are left, because it's really hard to keep track of that if you're not mathematically keeping track of it in your head. And there's no reason not to just show it. Another thing you guys have requested that I'm really looking forward to us doing is, the avatars and borders, they're going to come back into the game. We think you should be able to see them during a match. They're a bit how you identify yourself, so those are definitely also coming in the near future. There's so much that we're trying to do. This is just a little taste of it, but we're constantly working on making the game feel faster. I know Buja really fights for you guys. Soon we have thanks to him, a small 0.5, 1 second delay after you mulligan your last card so you can actually see what you get, which is, it really feels much better, and it's because we listen to you, and these little details really add up and they're really important to us, and I think slowly as we keep doing these, the user experience is going to become really top-notch, fantastic. So keep talking to us, keep sharing with us. This is how we'll get the user experience to the best level it can be. Moving on in that subject, this is sort of propped up in topics in the past, and that's game boards. And we are going to soon remove the concept of board halves. Hold on, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's also a really good thing because board halves really limit us on many angles. Every time we release a new board, that's 2 halves that we have to match to every single board that exists, and it was almost crippling us from releasing not only new boards, but really interesting boards. For example, one of the boards that we're looking into doing soon is a tavern board, and that would be really hard to have a bottom half as a tavern and the top half as a battlefield. It would feel really off, and really looking forward to removing halves allowing us to do this. What does this mean though? It means that we are still going to let you see your opponent's board using the following logic. If you go first, you have tactical advantage. You are the attacker. If you go second, you are the defender. It is your battlefield. This means that red player will always have his battlefield for both players. So you'll still be seeing each other's game boards, but you'll no longer have these 2 halves that don't always match. And this also opens us up to do optimizations in lighting. It allows us to do more beautiful boards in general. Really, everyone on the team is like super excited by the fact that they can now put more love and make even nicer looking game boards by removing this restriction that the halves would give us. And this sort of like brings us into the topic of vanities in general, and so game boards are definitely something we want to start adding into the game again soon, and it sort of represents the ideology of how we really want to monetize with you guys. We really want to focus more on getting your support and love through vanities that you can show off and have fun and enjoy the game, instead of forcing you guys to spend a lot of money to just enjoy the gameplay at its core. And you know, we've done some changes in that regard to make sure that we can pull this off. And that means that starting soon, we're going to shift a lot of our time to putting a lot more cool, awesome vanities for you guys to equip all over the place. And some of them are going to be pretty awesome. Really looking forward to that. Now, if you watched our financial presentation, you followed up on Twitter, you are aware that mobile is coming this year. And I have to say, I'm super excited about it. I cannot wait to be able to play phones, sitting on a bus or anywhere. It's already pretty far advanced. I've played it in my hands, and I gotta say, I'm so excited. It's incredible. It's going to be the best way to play Gwent, just because you can play it anywhere, and that's pretty fantastic. Things like drag and drop are things that we're working on because they're going to be very important to making the mobile version as awesome as possible. A lot of these user experience and UI improvements are also going to really benefit mobile by making sure that only the key information is visible so that we have a nice flow. The game boards are also being optimized to look really awesome and beautiful on mobile. Everything's coming together, and you know, I really look forward to being able to play it on iOS first this year, but Android as soon as we can after. And I mean, there's just a lot to look forward to, and I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. And lastly, I want to spend some time talking about generally our updates. So while we're working on mobile, while we're working on all this user experience stuff, the team has also been really hard at work on the future expansions for Gwent this year. The next one is going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. The theme just feels great for me. I just wish I could tell you what it is right now, but we have, marketing is not going to be happy with me if I say the name of the expansion right now. But I can confirm that it is going to involve a new faction. So the next expansion will focus mostly on a new faction, and I'm just really excited to play it. It's going to be different than all the other ones. Just like I said it was going to be on the last roadmap, I think we found the perfect faction for you guys. And of course, on top of that, we have even more expansions coming for the rest of the year for you guys to be excited. We have our monthly updates where we keep tweaking the game, we keep adding stuff for you guys, we have the seasonal modes that keep coming every month, so make sure to check those out and have fun. And of course, we'll be doing monthly balance patches in between in between expansions. So, you know, Nilfgaard update coming up is a great example of us taking a step back, looking at something that we could really improve and improving the overall experience. And we hope to find that right balance every month where we shake things up just enough that you don't feel completely lost, but the game feels fresh and awesome. And that's all we have for you today. I mean, there's a lot that's coming in the next year. This was a pleasure to share it with you guys. We're full steam ahead for so much exciting stuff, and I can't wait to share more news with you in the coming months and really keep Gwenting on. I love all of you. Thanks to the development team for all their hard work as well, and you know, see you out there. Now, if you guys have been paying attention on Twitter or our recent financial statements, we've announced we're going mobile. I'm so excited to finally be able to put Gwent into my hands and play it on the throne.